It is still hump day. I'm still James Williams Jr., and you are still watching Kung Fu Habit 2. So, let's see. Getting fired. Let's talk about getting fired, shall we? Because getting fired, yeah. Sometimes it's fun or really fucked up, and sometimes it's not. I think I've been fired from maybe 5 jobs, maybe more. I'm not really going to swear to it because I've been fired. And believe me, I have been fired not really from good jobs, but from alright jobs. I've never got fired from like jobs that I chose to leave from, and the only reason I chose to leave them, they were good jobs. It's just that they weren't trying to pay me. All right, I would probably still be working at the Conley Hotel on the university grounds right now at 42, like I was when I was 23, if they would have just paid me. They didn't want to pay me. Airmark did not want to come off no damn money. But when the new students came in, they came in at 8, and I wasn't even making 7. I was still making 650, and I only asked them for 50 fucking cent, and they wouldn't come off at 50 fucking cent. I was like, okay, you know what? I could do bad by myself. Words that I would later regret because they were true, and I have done bad by myself ever since. But all they needed to give me was 50 cent. No, I'd been making $7 an hour. I'd have been $1 under them, but I'd have been working. Plus, I worked more than they did. No, but because I was in community college, they didn't think that I deserved the 50 cents. I guess I don't know, but fuck them. So anyway, and I know they'll probably never hire me again after watching this video. Yeah, so much for that. But so I got fired from Sears on my day off. If you watched the last video, you'll get the gist of that, and that's probably on here somewhere else too. I got fired from RE Lee Construction because I didn't want to be a Marine. And technically, I really kind of quit that one. But I was probably going to wind up getting fired anyway because I jammed the goddamn drill thing in there. And plus, the guy just didn't like me. I don't think he liked half-breeds to begin with. I got fired from Fisher Auto Parts. I forgot why, but it wasn't like an important firing. And I guess they chalked it up that I should be spending more time going to school instead of working 3 hours in the morning. But basically, it was an economy thing. Kind of the same way I got fired from Browns. You know, they blamed it on the presidency. I was like, yeah, but they couldn't shift me to another part of the company. The truth of the matter was, I'll do brown nosing, but I won't be kissing anyone's ass. All right? And personally, I think brown nosing might be worse because you're like all the way up in there. But, for those who don't know what brown nosing is, it's a form of kissing ass, without kissing ass literally. And sometimes you got to kiss ass on jobs. It's a common fact to get along with your manager. Every now and again, you may have to kiss his ass or her ass. And if she's pretty, her ass is worth kissing, by the way. But anyway, so when I was working at Browns, I don't have an attitude problem. For anybody who thinks that I have an attitude problem, I have a problem with people who don't like my attitude. I have a no-nonsense attitude. I tell the truth. I call it like I see it. If you don't fucking like it, that's not my fucking problem. It's your fucking problem. You can't handle it. Hey, there's nothing I can do about how you react to some of the shit that I say. All you have to do is deal with it, swallow it, and keep on moving. And a lot of people just don't like the fact that I stood up for myself. I stood up for myself a lot at Browns. I kept running into people who would not leave me the fuck alone because I'm 5'3", and they thought that they were just gonna, well, I'm super big, I'm going to beat your ass, kind of talking to me, and I'm like, hold the fuck up, fella. It's like, motherfucker, I grew up in the fucking streets. I've been fighting people in the streets since I was 6 fucking years old. You think Kung Fu made me more dangerous? You're damn right it did. And the Army only helped me out in the danger bracket. But before that, I got fired off some doozy jobs. When I got fired from security, I kind of had to get fired from security. But I'm kicking myself in the ass now because if I would have thought about it, I could have went out on my own. I could have been a millionaire by now. Because I could have had my own security job if I would have just got certified. And that's why I got fired, because I didn't get certified. But there was a logical reason for that. We went to Lynchburg for 2 days. And we watched these videos with this dude who's like 5'5". He's a little bit bigger than me, a little bit stockier. And he's beating the hell out of these guys, man. He's throwing them all over the place. He's doing all this mad-ass martial arts shit. And I being the only martial artist and the youngest guy in the room thinking, hell yeah, I can do that. I can fuck people up. I did that shit when I was a kid. And then they dropped the bombshell. If you're working for Richmond Security, everything that you have watched in the last 2 days is null and void. Now, null and void at 23 years old, or 24, 25, I don't remember how old I was. I know I was in my 20s. I'm like, what the fuck does that mean? And that's exactly how I said it. It was like a reflex. It came out my mouth. He said, null and void. I was like, what the fuck does that mean? He said, well, Mr. Williams, that means that you and your partner here can't touch anybody. But if you're in your uniform and someone decides to pop the 7-Eleven and you're in your uniform, you have to take a bullet for the store. I'm like, hold on, let me get this right. I can't touch anybody on my job, and everybody on my job was like 6 feet or better. The smallest person there was a 6 foot tall woman. All country. Everybody there was country. We were in Earlysville, and everybody there was country. Everybody, even talk country, and they had like they were like just really big people. You know, maybe I'm just super small. Of course I am, because I'm the size of the average Vietnamese woman. But anyway, before learning that, so I'm sitting there, and I'm like, I can't defend myself on my job. Good thing I don't drink coffee, but I can't defend myself on my job. So, in the words of my two younger brothers who didn't go into the military and put abracadabra all the way down the goddamn paper, I put abracadabra all the way down the goddamn paper. The only thing I got points for was my name, because that's my name. But they started telling me what you could and couldn't do, and I knew the answers. I could have aced the test, but I purposely failed the test because I don't want to go to work and have somebody 6'6", big show meat cleaver hands wrap their hands around my throat and it be a fucking woman. I'm not letting nobody kick my ass. Not for $4.50 an hour. That shit's not gonna happen. And that's what I was making at the time. It was $4.50 an hour. And this was before I got the job at the university at the Colony Hotel. I was working at whatever security company, Richmond Security, and we were at a site. And it was like fucking no way in hell that I was gonna let these big men and women wrap their hands around my motherfucking neck and choke me to death. And my job as a security guard, I was basically like, you seen the commercial? I'm not a security guard. I'm a security monitor. I monitor when people are committing a crime. It was like that. But my job there was like, if somebody did something, I could only call 911. I couldn't file reports or any of that stuff, and I couldn't stop them because legally I wasn't supposed to stop them. I was an unarmed security guard. And I got fired because I didn't get certified. And the fact that Mr. Chavez actually fired me 2 weeks before the pay period. So my last check was like really, really small. And I got fired from Burger King. I threatened the manager. Yeah. Then I threatened him again. And then, when I got my paycheck, I embarrassed him and I threatened him again. So yeah, Mountain Valley will probably never, ever, ever give me another job. Unless I'm like doing one of those commercials in their uniforms or whatever. I've been fired for some doozy jobs, and I've been fired for some whack jobs. I got fired from construction. Not the one about the marine thing, but I got fired because I kind of stood up for myself, and it's like, yeah, don't let the little guy come back. And so if you get fired for standing up for yourself, what's the point of working a job? When I got fired from Browns, it's basically more or less because I stood up for myself, and you got to find red tape to fire someone who shows up for work all the time, never late, shows up to work sick as a dog, and will still come to work. That's me. I need to work. I don't give a fuck unless I'm bleeding out, I'm coming to work. And truth be told, if I'm bleeding out, I'll probably still come to work. But I mean, unless it's like severe. But the whole thing is that it's when you want to work, you want to work. When you don't want to work, you still have to work. Whether you like it or not, you have to work. All right. But I've been fired from jobs, and I'm not gonna say I didn't deserve to be fired. But some of the jobs I will say, I worked on getting fired. I worked for Joanne Fabric one time, and I damn near broke my hand. I got it bruised really bad. And when I worked at Kettler's, I couldn't get fired because I had a girlfriend named Amy Bach, and she brought her new boyfriend on my job, and he looked just like me, only he was tall as fuck, and I tried to beat him to death. But the 4 guys in the back wouldn't let me out of the kitchen, and they ate a complimentary meal on my paycheck. Fuck y'all. Anyway, to close this out, getting fired is a learning experience. I'm not going to say it's a great learning experience, but in all, it is a learning experience. You learn what not to do so that you don't get fired again. Alright? Now, sometimes you get fired and sometimes you get lucky and you don't. And me getting fired, I'm not gonna say it wasn't a blessing in disguise, but it may have saved me from getting like arrested. You know, getting fired from Kegler's, wasn't happening. I actually got to quit them. I tried to get fired when I tried to beat the guy's ass, but that wasn't an option because they didn't let me out the room. But all the jobs that I got fired from, I will say that 25% of it was probably my fault. Getting fired from Burger King, I'll take all 50 to 100% of that because you don't tell somebody who looks like Ernie Reyes Jr. that he can't fight his way out of a wet paper bag if you've never seen him fight before. And Mr. Don Vaughn, wherever you may be, I haven't forgotten your name or your face, so don't fuck with me. But, it's just a principle of the thing, Sometimes you go to jobs and they're not for you, all right? Sometimes it may take a hot minute or two for you to learn that job's not for you. But until you learn it, work it as long as you can. Because, don't let nobody stop your money. Don't even let yourself stop your money. Sometimes you got to take a job that you just don't want to take. And, as a grown man, I'm going to tell you the same thing I was telling the kids. If you have to have a job and you're a teenager, this is my advice. Take this advice to heart. Unless you have thick skin, don't work at restaurants. All right? If you don't like working with people, don't be cashiers at restaurants or stores. If you don't like working with cash, don't be a cashier. If you do like working with people, restaurants, cashiers. If you don't like working with people, find a job like somewhere like in a toy store or a comic store or anything that's not a restaurant. Try an internship at a TV studio or something. We didn't have them back when I was younger. But if we did, clearly, I would have been like top dog at some internship to try to get my black ass on TV. Now, the thing about getting fired is that they do come back to bite you in the ass when you put them on a resume. Because if you got fired by somebody who's just a douche, oh yeah, they're gonna probably say something. And don't worry, there's supposed to be like a confidentiality clause about why they're not supposed to tell you, why you tell the person that's trying to hire you why they fired you, and that they need to learn that you're a dick on their own. But some bosses don't give a damn and will tell you. And I'd be the first to tell you, when I got fired from Burger King, I would probably say, more likely than not, if I would have just checked myself, I probably wouldn't have got fired. But I was so fucking mad at the way this guy was treating me that I just couldn't help myself because we had got a referendum. For those who don't know what that is, that's a fucking memo that the night porters had got that we were not allowed to go into the walk-in because somebody, whether it be a regular crew member or another night porter, was still in the fucking Reese's cups. So we couldn't go in. We could still get a free meal and a Reese's cup if it was one in the refrigerator at the front. But if it wasn't one in the refrigerator at the front, you could not have anything out of anything other than the stuff in the front. You can only fuck with the food that's already in the storage room that's not in the walk-in. If you had to go in the walk-in, you could be fired. That's how that happened. And Mr. Vaughn didn't want to go with the policy of the company. He wanted to be the top dog of the ship. Which in most managers don't own the building. The company owns the building, and the manager runs the company by policy or whatever. But when your manager chooses to go against policy, 9 times out of 10, it's your word against them, and their management, and you're not. So they're pretty much probably going to give you the boot anyway. And the long and short was, once he said those words, and he didn't know I was standing behind him, you see how this is red here? Well, that's how red he turned. And he was a white man. He turned extremely red. He turned jet red when I said, I would beat your lily white ass right here, right now. Am I sorry that I said that? No. I probably could have worded it differently instead of adding race to it. But, at the time, I was so goddamn mad, I didn't give a fuck. And he did call the cops on me. But I told him, when I left, I told him, I said, I'm going to tell you what. When I come get my check, you better fucking respect me. Because if you don't respect me, I will pull you over this counter. And I will go to jail. Because I'm going to beat you in front of every goddamn body in fucking Burger King. And when I came to get my check, I give Don his props. He did respect me. I give myself a big negative because I went in there angry. And I straight up threatened him. I said, I'm here for my last check. I said, and you better not try to fucking embarrass me when you give it to me. Okay, sir. I won't embarrass you, sir. I said, you damn right you won't embarrass me. Why don't you tell all these people why I got fired? I said, why don't you tell them all out how I couldn't fight my way out of a wet paper bag? And I probably shouldn't have done that. I should have went about that a little bit more professional instead of becoming a nigger, because that's exactly what I did. I had a nigger moment, and I totally flipped out. And I probably will regret that until the day I die. And then again, I probably won't. The only thing that I regret ever in life in having a nigger moment is hitting the white girl in the mouth for calling me a nigger in grade school. Other than that, you know what? I don't give a fuck. And the only thing I do regret not doing is not finding that guy who called me Chief and tried to bring his damn neck because I kept showing him my damn name tag, which is not Chief. There's a lot of things that I wish I should have done and could have done, and I didn't. Those things, we act accordingly to whatever the good Lord has planned for us. And for those who don't believe in God, okay, I can't judge you on how the hell the hands of fate map up your life. So whatever fate or God has in store for you, just be ready. Just be ready. Dead skin, not boogers. So this is the James Williams Jr. This is Kung Fu Havoc number 2. And I am out of here. Thank you guys for tuning in. I do have one more video that I want to get off my chest, so I'm going to do that, and then that's going to call it tonight.